Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where I've just finished listening to Neon Town Escape by Scandal from their new album Kiss from the Darkness, and this is my review as part of the track-by-track review we're doing of this album. If you didn't know about that already, and if you want to follow up with us, remember the link is in the description below to the playlist for the whole track-by-track listen through. Now, usually on this channel we do a reaction and review, but because of the legal side, as you guys already know, I'm going to stop boring you with this. But as a result, we're just going straight for reviews on this album because Scandal is a lot of copyright blocking. So I'm just going to get my thoughts on it. If you haven't already checked it out, then do check this out. This song out first of all. It's on Spotify. The whole album's on Spotify. Go check it out now. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yes. So this is a bit of an interesting one because this song, to me, Neon Town Escape, has quite an interesting sort of sound. In its core, it's kind of got a bit of a swingy sort of show tune, sort of jazzy feel to it, in the best way that you can from a pop rock sort of song. It has a lot of elements in it. Now, when it first comes in, it just feels kind of like a swingy acoustic song. And then as the melody builds, like I say, you get that slightly jazzy, you can almost imagine it as a show tune being performed with dancers and top hats in the background. It kind of takes that sort of swingy approach. And it works for the best part. It does work for the best part, but there are some things that for me don't quite work as well as they should do. Some things that kind of let this one down. Now, the first thing that really hit me quite a lot was the fact that when it goes into that bigger chorus, the acoustic guitar stays relatively loud in the mix, but the trumpets in the background, which are accenting and giving a lot of the force and the energy behind the whole chorus, kind of left quite quiet. And I think the mixing doesn't help this. I think that really the trumpet should be a little bit louder in the mix. And as I listened to it more, especially towards the end, I realised that the trumpets are just in a very, very high pitch as well. I think it should be done more as like a brass quartet. There should be some lower brass beneath it as well. When it comes in, you get those da da da. It should have a real impact because it's not playing all the time. It's just playing in little staccato hits, and then between them you're hearing the rest of the song without any form of interruption. So when it hits, it should cover more frequency. It should have more body to it. So I felt that they really missed something, the producer or the arranger, by not making a thicker and louder sort of brass band sound in the background of this, because it really accents as well the kind of writing style that they've gone for here. And like I say, it's not overly intrusive. It's just little stabs that are accenting it anyway. So I think they could have lent into that somewhat more. However, it comes off really well. There's some nice bass work in this as well, some nice complementary bass work from Tomomi, which actually really helps to thicken things up. Because one of the other criticisms I have, and by the way, I'm criticising this a bit because we're always honest on this channel, but I did actually overall quite enjoy this song. I thought it was a really good little addition as an album track. One of the other problems I would sort of point out though is the second verse to me felt a little bit lackluster, like they just kind of were going around and doing the same thing as the first verse. It's not that that's an unprecedented thing to do, it's just that a lot of the bands like Scandal, a lot of these sort of Japanese bands who have reached this level of fame, one of the things you note from a lot of them is that they're very good at making the first and second verses of these sorts of songs with this sort of arrangement never sound the same. They're always good at flipping things up and making each verse interesting. This, however, the second verse just felt like a retread of the first one, and it was at that point I kind of noticed that, like I say, that acoustic guitar again, to me, wasn't adding much. I felt the guitar could have done something more interesting at points. Just having it strumming along all the time kind of felt like it took a lot of the intricacy out of the song. So I must admit that the guitar work didn't really help so much, that acoustic guitar work. I think it could have had taken breaks at the moment or done more interesting sort of finger picky things at times. Nothing too showy, just to add a little bit more nuance to the background. Interestingly enough though, towards the end of the second verse there was a sound that came in that it was hard to tell because it was towards the back of the mix, but it really was, it was great. It added a lot of fullness to the arrangement just in that little bit and helped build up to the chorus, and it sounded like an electric piano, but I couldn't tell if it was an electric piano or just a guitar pedal effect. Either way, if that was an extra bit, if that was the lead guitar work or something else, or whether it was electric piano added, it really did help to add a bit of fullness to a sound. So those little extra sounds like that, like the trumpets, they really worked well. Now, overall, this is a nice little swingy song. It's got a good chorus. It is actually quite catchy. I mean, for an album track, I'd say this is a sort of song you wouldn't be in a rush to overlook. It is enjoyable. It certainly does earn its listen in all the basic simple ways, in the melody, in the rhythm, in those sort of basic ground sort of foundation ways. Like I say, it's just in the details. It seems to have some slightly squandered ideas. And I think the bit which really showcases that, and kind of for me puts a bit of an unfortunate kick in your shins right at the end is when it fades out. You get this suddenly out of nowhere, the arrangement goes full force. You get like a little guitar solo coming in, like some guitar twiddly bits, more of the brass band comes in, and suddenly it sounds really full at the end, and you're thinking, well, okay, I'm not saying you had to throw guitar solos everywhere, but it just clearly shows that they had more sounds, more things at their disposal that they weren't using for the rest of the song. So yeah, as that last few seconds shows as the song fades out, yeah, more brass would have been cool in the other parts of the song, you know, even if it was just thickening up the little brass trumpet stabs that were already there. A little bit more of electric guitar, not, like I say, not necessarily soloing, but just doing little sort of intricate little moves and lines in the background to accent certain things, harmonise with certain things in the arrangement. There could have been a lot more detail to this song, and to me, just that ending shows that they knew it and they knew how to do it. Those few seconds as it fades slowly away from your presence and leaves you behind are, in my opinion, the best moments of the song. And like I say, that serves as a bit of a kick in the nads. So I did enjoy this. I did think it was a good song, but I do come out of this feeling it mainly feels like wasted potential. A little bit less of the strummy acoustic guitar, and maybe a little bit more of those interesting little electric finger picks. You know, you can keep the acoustic guitar, but sort of low in the mix, just sort of giving the groundwork of everything alongside the bass and the drums. And you know, if we'd had a little bit more sort of guitar finger picking here and there, if we'd had a little bit more of the brass sort of given more body, given more depth, you know, some extra brass band underneath that, you know, playing the lower frequency, the lower registers. If we'd had those sorts of things, it would have worked. And this is exactly the sort of song we should be doing it. Like I say, it feels like it could be played on a stage in a sort of in a musical. It's not quite that flamboyant, but it's got that kind of swing to it. It's got that kind of, and they're indicating that by having the trumpets in the background of the chorus. It has that whole feel of the sort of song where you can get away with being playful with the arrangement, and yet this feels rather reserved with its arrangement. So at the core, I think Scandal have written a good song, and I think the arrangement is a slight squandering of that song, and the production and mix were not particularly amazing either. So yeah, I mean, I can imagine if maybe they got this one, dragged it out and played it live with a proper brass band in the background, this would probably be a really elevate itself. It'd be one of those ones you'd really notice as being much better live if they could do it properly with that whole setup. Personally, in my opinion, like I say, I like it on its core level enough that I would come back and listen to it again. Certainly on an album, listen through it. I don't think I would jump to skip it, even though the second verse, verses are not hugely exciting. I don't think I'd skip it too early. It'd take quite a few listens before I got bored of it. But my main feeling is every time I hear this, I would just be reminded of the wasted potential that I think this song has. I think this could be something really big, bombastic, and sort of really sort of swing out of the headphones and just, hit you hard. But instead, it just kind of feels more like a soft tap. So that's my opinions. Anyway, as always, let me know what you think. Get in there. I know we've got a lot of Scandal fans on the channel, so I'm looking forward to seeing what you think. But as always, comments are appreciated, whatever your opinion. Likes and subscribes are super appreciated. If you want to get into the links in the description below and follow us to watching more of the videos on the track-by-track listen through of Kiss from the Darkness, massively appreciated, as well as any of the other videos we've got on this channel. There's hundreds of them. If you want to join us for the discussion, the 24/7 rambling discussion on Discord, super appreciated. If you want to give me song suggestions on the Reddit suggestion thread, wow, we're best friends. And if you want to drop a little bit of help to us through the Patreon, massive thanks to our Patreon supporters who keep this channel looking as good as it does this year. If you want to join them, then wow, oh my god, gracias. But for now, from Japan, thank you so much for tuning in. You have a lovely day. Until I see you soon, hopefully on my next video. Wow, it's windy outside. Ciao, ciao. Thanks for watching. Feel free to check out more of our hundreds of videos we got online on this channel right now, or get involved in the discussion with us at the many social media links we've got in the description below, where you can suggest new videos and artists for us to check out on the channel. Or you can just do the usual YouTube stuff and comment, like, subscribe. You know how this works by now.